Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Listening Practice. I'm Lily, and I'm so happy you're here today. Have you ever wanted to improve your English without studying long grammar lessons? What if you could learn English simply by listening to an interesting story? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. This story is simple, relaxing, and perfect for English learners. As you listen, you'll improve your listening, learn new vocabulary, and become more confident speaking English. So, find a comfortable place. Take a deep breath. Listen carefully. And let's begin our story. Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Emma. Emma lived in a small town with her parents and her younger brother. She was kind, hardworking, and always dreamed of doing something special with her life. However, there was one problem. Emma wanted to speak English fluently, but she thought it was impossible. Every time she tried to speak, she became nervous. She was afraid of making mistakes. So instead of speaking, she stayed quiet. One day, while walking home from school, Emma saw an old bookstore she had never noticed before. Curious, she walked inside. The store was small, quiet, and filled with hundreds of beautiful books. An old man smiled warmly and said, "Welcome. Take your time. Every book here has something valuable to teach." Emma smiled and began looking around. Then, she noticed a small blue book with golden letters on the cover. The title was simple: Never Stop Learning. For some reason, she felt that the book was waiting for her. So she bought it and took it home. That evening, she opened the first page. The first sentence said, "Success doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from practicing every single day." Emma read that sentence again and again. Suddenly, she realized something. Maybe she didn't need to be perfect. Maybe she just needed to keep going. That night changed her life forever. What do you think Emma will do next? Will she finally find the confidence to speak English? Let's continue in the next part. The next morning, Emma woke up earlier than usual. She looked at the little blue book again. The words from the first page stayed in her mind. Practice every single day. She smiled and said, "Today is the day I stop being afraid." After breakfast, she opened her notebook. Instead of studying difficult grammar, she wrote 5 simple English sentences. My name is Emma. I love learning English. Today is a beautiful day. I can improve every day. I will never give up. She read them slowly, then again, and again. At first, her pronunciation wasn't perfect, but she didn't stop. For the first time, she enjoyed learning English. Every day after school, Emma practiced English for just 20 minutes. She listened to English podcasts. She repeated every sentence. Sometimes she talked to herself in English while walking home. People looked at her, but she didn't care anymore. She had one goal: to become confident. Weeks passed. Little by little, English became easier. She no longer translated every word. She started thinking in English. And every small success gave her more confidence. One Saturday afternoon, Emma went to a small coffee shop. While waiting for her coffee, she heard someone speaking English. A tourist looked around and asked, "Excuse me, could you help me?" Emma felt nervous. Her heart started beating faster. She wanted to stay silent, just like before. But then, she remembered the sentence from her blue book. Success comes from practicing every day. She took a deep breath, smiled, and answered, "Yes, of course. How can I help you?" The tourist smiled happily. He asked for directions. Emma explained everything in simple English. The conversation only lasted a few minutes. But when it ended, she couldn't stop smiling. It was the first real conversation she had ever had in English. And she realized something important. She didn't need perfect English. She only needed courage to speak. Emma had taken her first big step. But this was only the beginning of her journey. In the next part, something unexpected happens that changes her life even more. A few days later, Emma received an email from her English teacher. The teacher wrote, "Next Friday, we'll have an English speaking club. Students will practice speaking English together." Emma looked at the email for a long time. Part of her wanted to join. Another part wanted to say no. She was still nervous. She still worried about making mistakes. But then she smiled. She remembered how proud she felt after helping the tourist. So she whispered to herself, "If I don't try, I'll never know what I can do." Without thinking any longer, she clicked the join button. Friday finally arrived. Emma walked into the classroom. There were about 20 students. Some looked confident. Others looked just as nervous as she was. Their teacher smiled warmly. She said, "Remember, this isn't a competition. We're here to learn together." Those words helped Emma relax. The first activity was simple. Everyone had to introduce themselves. When it was Emma's turn, she stood up slowly. She took a deep breath and said, "Hello, everyone. My name is Emma. I enjoy reading books, drinking coffee, and learning English. My dream is to speak English confidently one day." The classroom became quiet. Then, everyone smiled. Some students even clapped. Emma couldn't believe it. No one laughed. No one judged her. Instead, they encouraged her. For the first time, she felt that speaking English could actually be fun. After the meeting, a girl walked over to Emma. Her name was Sophia. She smiled and said, "You did a great job today." Emma smiled back. "Thank you. I was very nervous." Sophia laughed. "Me too. But the only way to improve is to keep speaking." From that day on, Emma and Sophia practiced English together every afternoon. Sometimes they talked about school. Sometimes they talked about movies, music, travel, or their dreams for the future. Little by little, their conversations became longer. Their vocabulary became bigger, and their confidence grew stronger every single week. 6 months passed. Emma was no longer the shy girl who was afraid to speak English. She could now have real conversations. She watched English movies without subtitles. She read English books with confidence. And she even helped other students practice speaking. One afternoon, she walked past the same old bookstore where everything had started. She went inside again. The old man recognized her immediately. He smiled and asked, "So, how's your English now?" Emma smiled proudly. "It's not perfect, but I'm not afraid anymore." The old man nodded. That's the real secret. Confidence comes before perfection. Emma smiled because she finally understood what those words meant. Emma's journey isn't really about English. It's about believing in yourself, taking small steps, and never giving up. In the final part, I'll share the most important lesson from Emma's story, and it's something every English learner should remember. Emma sat quietly on a park bench. She thought about everything that had happened during the past 6 months. She remembered the fear, the doubts, the mistakes, and the days when she wanted to quit. Then she realized something. She had never become successful because she was the smartest student. She became successful because she never stopped trying. Every small step mattered. Every mistake taught her something. Every conversation made her stronger. She smiled and said quietly, "I'm proud of myself." Not because she was perfect, but because she never gave up. 1 year later, Emma's life had completely changed. She could speak English with confidence. She made friends from different countries. She traveled without feeling nervous. She even started helping other English learners. One day, a young student asked her, "What's the secret to speaking English fluently?" Emma smiled. She remembered the little blue book. Then she answered, "There isn't a secret. Just practice every day. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Believe in yourself. And never give up." The student smiled. Those simple words gave him hope, just as they had once given hope to Emmer. Every English learner has a story. Maybe today you're afraid to speak. Maybe you think your English isn't good enough. Maybe you compare yourself to other people. But remember, everyone starts as a beginner. Every fluent English speaker was once a learner. The only difference is they kept going. So don't wait until your English is perfect. Start today. Speak today. Practice today. Because every small step brings you closer to your dream. Thank you so much for listening to today's story. I hope Emmer's journey inspired you to believe in yourself and keep learning English every single day. Now I have a question for you. If you were Emmer, would you have joined the English speaking club? Why or why not? Write your answer in English in the comments below. I'd love to read your thoughts. If you enjoyed this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new English listening practice story. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I'm Lily. Keep reading. Keep listening. Keep speaking. And most importantly, never stop learning. Take care, stay motivated, and I'll see you in the next story. Goodbye, everyone.